I'm excited to talk about management, not from a management book, but from an unusual place, the chessboard.
How do you explain the management idea of organizing in the context of chess?
Strategic thinking, adaptability, resource management, as well as leadership.
So, leadership is about taking the initiative, it's about setting the stage in motion when others are still thinking what the question is.
We warmly welcome you to the novel initiative by the Institute of Chartered Professional Managers of Sri Lanka, where we are going to explore the management principles through gamification. And as the first step, we are going to deep dive into the synergies between the game of chess and the fascinating world of management. So hope you will enjoy this podcast series, and let's move ahead with the first episode.
The idea of management has been initially conceptualized by gurus like Henry Fayol and Frederick Taylor. Since then, it has evolved to where we are experiencing today as management in the context of planning, organizing, leading, controlling. What we are trying to do today is to couple this concept of management with a management of game of chess. For that, we have today Pramodya Senanayaka, former national women chess champion, together with Yash Naik, who is a management strategist, to discuss the relevance and the differences between management and management of chess. To start with, I would like to ask from Pramodya, how do you see management in a game of chess?
Former world chess champion Garry Kasparov once said, "Chess is the gymnasium of mind." And I can't agree more. Although we play chess in these 64 squares, the lessons that we learn and the skills that we develop actually go beyond this. Strategic thinking, adaptability, resource management, as well as leadership. So I'm really excited to explore the fascinating connection and the synergies between the game of chess and management.
That is fascinating, Pramodya. So, what I would like to know now from Yash is, how do you see that Pramodya's comment in terms of chess from a management point of view?
Thank you, sir. I'm excited to talk about management, not from a management book, but from an unusual place, the chessboard. So, Pramodya, you mentioned that chess is like the gymnasium of the mind. So, I would like to say management in that respect is like the marathon of the mind. So, essentially, management is the art of getting work done through people. So now if you come back to the chessboard, what I learned is that after the first 5 moves, there are a million games possible. And if you just add a few more moves, then that explodes the possibility to almost tens of billions. So look at people. When we bring people together, there is also similarly unlimited potential possibilities and opportunities as well as challenges. And all of that makes management equally strategic, captivating, and interesting, just like a game of chess.
Now we have a basic idea of management in terms of chess as well as in the concept of management in the real business world. But I like to go further. I like to probe further to find out how does planning being happening in a game of chess. Over to you, Pramodya. How would you like to explain that?
Yes, in chess, planning is not a one-time activity. Actually, there are several stages of the game, and each of these stages requires different planning. In terms of the opening, players need to develop their pieces and gain the central control. And when it comes to the middle game, players need to create opportunities as well as to defend the threats. And the plan of the end game is to make use of the advantages which have been created in the earlier phases and achieve the ultimate goal of checkmate. And still, all of these plans can change with each and every competitor moves.
Okay. Yash, Pramodya was talking about multi-stage planning. How do you see this in in the context of management of businesses?
So Pramod, you mentioned that in the game of chess, strategies change as per the stage the game is in. Similarly, in management as well, plans keep changing and plans are flexible and iterative. So let me explain this using the example of Elon Musk's SpaceX. So the purpose of SpaceX was not just to land back the rocket; it was to radically transform the economies of the space flight, right? So with that in mind, when the experiment started, say the first one, the Falcon one, it blew up within 25 seconds and fell into the ocean. Then the Falcon 9, that also had problem. It three times, four times, the landing failed. Then the early prototypes of the Starship, that also exploded. Some blew away, some started cracking. So various problems. But these failures was not viewed as failures. They became the data for the scientists to change the plan, right? So they became the input for the plan. So they went back to the drawing board, they looked at the telemetry, they did some design improvements, and they reiterated and came back with the new plan until they were successful. So that is effectively the heart of planning, where you anchor, you anchor certain experimentations to a goal, and then you look at every failure as a stepping stone and a learning experience and not as a failure. And then you have very tight feedback loop in the process itself, and you transform the failure into a momentum. So that's planning.
Now, Pramodya, how do you explain the management idea of organizing in the context of chess?
In chess, there are 6 different types of pieces, and each of these pieces has its unique strengths and limitations. For example, the knight can jump over the pieces and in L shape, while the bishop moves diagonally and the rook moves horizontally as well as vertically. So, in terms of this, a strong player will organize these pieces in such a way that the maximum potential of each and every piece is utilized to achieve the end goal of checkmate. And also, sir, in terms of the value of a piece, we have material value as well as the position value. For example, the knight and the bishop share the same value of 3 at the start. But when the position is blocked, the knight becomes more valuable than the bishop. And while the position is open, the bishop becomes more valuable than the knight.
I see. Yash, the comments made by Pramodya on the idea of the organizing was very interesting. How do you reflect upon some of the comments that she made?
So I'll answer your question jumping straight into an example. Let's go to the San Jose gold copper mine at the Atacama Desert in South America, 5th August 2010. The mine caved in and 33 miners went right and under 2,300 feet underneath. They were trapped. Then what happened? So NASA engineers, Chilean geologists, drilling crews, paramedical teams, psychologists, and various specialists from all around the globe came together to synchronize and organize an effort, which was multi-national effort, with the pure intention of one objective, that is to get these miners out. So this example was sort of a masterclass in organizing and management. At the end of the 69 days, on 12th September, they started pulling out the miners, and on 13th September, the last one, the 33rd miners. So all 33 miners came out very safely because of this joint coordinated effort. So it can be said that coordination and collaboration is much greater than individual brilliance. So in management terms, we can look at organizing in terms of resilience, adaptability, agility, and of course resource optimization, all focused towards achieving the goal.
Nowadays, we are very excited with the FIFA semi-finals and then coming finals maybe tomorrow. It's interesting to see how leadership or leading organizations. So I like to pose a question to both Pramodya and Yash. How do you see the way of leading in a chess of game in real world. Then I would like to pose that same question to Yash. See, how would you reflect her comments in the terms of management?
Yes, sir. In terms of chess also, it's all about the initiative when it comes to leading. The player who can take the initiative and make bold moves, as well as to create opportunities and threats against the opponent, who can take that initiative, can be the leader, and who can take the upper hand of the game. At the same time in chess, certain positions will demand attacking style, and certain positions will demand this defenses. But anyway, the strong players won't wait to react. They will make purposeful moves so that the game is under control.
I would say leaders don't wait for permission, they set the tone. Let me go back now to 2014. Satya Nadella becomes the CEO of Microsoft. So what did he do? He didn't go into restructuring, or he didn't address and said we are going to do cost cutting or nothing. He wrote a beautiful email, one of which point was, he said, I buy more books than I can read, and I enroll for more online courses than I can finish. He said, if you're fundamentally not learning something new, then you're not basically growing or doing something useful. So he transformed it by motivating people to look at it from a know-it-all culture to a learn-it-all culture. And that motivation from the leader gave the impetus to Microsoft to become a leader in cloud first and triple the revenues and all. So that's one example. Very quickly, you all might have seen the movie Sully. So Captain Chelsea Sullenberger had 208 seconds after his Airbus both engines blew away after a bird strike. He had only 208 seconds to decide whether to go back to LaGuardia, go to New Jersey, or to just glide over the Hudson River. Sully had trained himself, had the discipline to lead for the moment before the moment actually arrived. With that 35-40 years of discipline, he was able to save the life of 155 people. So leadership is about taking the initiative. It's about setting the stage in motion when others are still thinking what the question is.
By now, we have planned, we have organized, now we have led a particular performance. From Uday's point of view, chess. From Yash's point of view, business management. So, but whatever the task that is being carried out in the real life, the problem is we need to find out whether we are doing it right or what are the kind of improvements that we wanted to have. So in that light, a very important facet is the controlling part. So I like to see, Pramodya, how do you use the idea of controlling in a game of chess? And then I like to see how do you reflect from a management point of view her comments in our world of business.
Yes, indeed, sir. Even the best plan can fail if the circumstances change and the player does not respond to it. So, in terms of controlling, these best players need to constantly review the position as well as to evaluate the position and also to manage their time. Because chess is played within a time control and we need to manage the time accordingly. And apart from all of this, when it comes to controlling, it is important that you make constant evaluation as well as review progress and make the course corrective actions.
From Chile and then from USA and Hudson River, I would now like to take you to Japan. So let me tell you, in 1950, Toyota was a very small, struggling automaker. Taiichi Ono, who we all regard as the father of the Toyota production system and the lean management, he gave the authority to every single assembly line worker to pull a yellow color cord called the andon cord. Pulling that cord stopped the entire assembly line. The cost of stopping the assembly line was enormous, but the cost of a defective car going to a customer was even greater. So controlling at Toyota is not a top-down approach, but it starts with the person who is closest to the assembly line of the problem, right? So I would say that in management also, controlling is essentially just like in chess about course correction, because again, like Pramodya said, the best of the plans can fail if you do not have the courage to pull the cord in time.
I believe we have beautifully explored the idea of management in terms of chess. So therefore, management in chess, right? And then I would like to see, Pramodya, how do you reflect upon the comments made by Yash for somebody who is curious about exploring management much more deeper?
Yes, sir. And indeed, I think Yash came up with very fascinating examples to show the synergies between chess and management. Although we play chess in these 64 squares, the lessons actually go far beyond. And with each and every move, it teaches us to think much clearer and also to lead in a wiser way and make smarter and strategic decisions. So I hope with this episode that we could encourage the audience to gain strategic thinking advantage and also relate it to chess and see beyond the 64 squares and examine the hidden treasures of management in this chessboard.
I totally agree with Pramodya that chess is played in 64 squares, but it teaches us about leadership in probably 6 continents. Still, for all, in conclusion, I would just like to point out the key differences that exist between the chess and the management. Because you see, a bishop never gets a headache, right? A rook is not worried about the office politics, and maybe a knight is not worried about a raise in his salary. But when you translate that to management, our PCs are people, right? People who have emotions, they have ambition, right? They have an opinion, and they also have fears. So when we are dealing with these beautiful people, we indeed have to look beyond the 64 squares into those people, because they are going to play the moves for your organization. So let me just quickly conclude by saying that let trust be our guiding bishop, navigating diagonally through challenges and creating leaders. Leaders with the vision of the queen, with the resilience of the rook, with the agility of the knight, and the perseverance of the pawn. That way, we can achieve management by checkmate, where every move is a victory and all our key stakeholders are part of that victory.
Hope all of you enjoyed the first episode on the fundamentals of management. And our next episode will be on the SWOT analysis and scenario planning. So hope you all will stay tuned for our next episodes as well.